Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a top 5 best bronzers video, and these are the best bronzers for fair skin. This has been a highly anticipated video on my channel because I've done a few other makeup videos specifically for people with fair skin in the past because personally, obviously I have fair skin, so that's what I have the most experience with, and I find sometimes it can be tricky to find products that are flattering and kind of work with my skin tone. Obviously, there's a lot of problems about inclusivity in the makeup industry, like the biggest problem being that most makeup lines don't accommodate skin tones on the darker end of the spectrum, but personally I have fair skin, so this is what I have experience with. So I'm going to go ahead and link my previous videos down below in the description box. I actually created a playlist because I know a lot of you come to my channel specifically for these recommendations, so I kind of made it easier and put all the videos in one place. Also wanted to quickly mention that I will be linking all the products that I mention in the description box as well as all the products that I have on my face here. My next video is going to be a get ready with me where I do this makeup look, so that will be the next one up on Thursday, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that. But everything will be linked down below, and again, those are commission links, so I do make a teeny amount of money if you click them, so if you don't want to use them you don't have to, but just want to throw that out there. And without further ado, let's jump into my favorite bronzers. The first thing I want to talk about, which I mentioned extensively in my how to bronze fair skin video, is having the right brush. My holy grail favorite bronzer brush, as I mentioned in that video, is the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Face Brush. I really like this because it's an affordable drugstore brush. There's many other duo fiber brushes out there that you can get. I just like that this is affordable. It comes in a set of 3. When I bought this set years ago, I bought it at Ulta, and I tried to look online to find this for you guys to link, and it looks like it's only available at Walmart now. So I'll have that linked down below, but if you can't get a hold of these or can't find this, I just really recommend a duo fiber brush, because sometimes when you apply bronzer with too dense of a brush, it just applies too much product, it gets too dark too quickly, and it's kind of hard to recover from that, and kind of, you can always put more on but you can't take off what you've already applied, or it's very hard to kind of blend it away. So I highly recommend having a not dense brush, first of all, to apply bronzer on fair skin. If you want more details on that, I go into it extensively in my how to bronze fair skin tutorial. And I will start out with my favorite contour product for fair skin, and that is just Benefit Hoola. I have this really tiny little sample size of Hoola. Obviously the regular packaging looks very different, but this one is well loved by me. I'm just going to use this up until I need to buy the regular full-size one. But there's also Hoola Light. If you're much fairer than me, then I would recommend Hoola Light. But if you're my skin tone or slightly darker, slightly fairer, then I would just stick with regular Hoola. I think if you apply any kind of nice cool toned, mid-toned bronzer like this with this brush or a similar style brush, I think it can work on fair skin. This is my go-to holy grail contour. I have this today on all over my face and I love it. And what's good about this is it's very cool toned, and a lot of time more cool tone bronzers can be slightly more flattering on fair skin because a lot of people with fair skin, such as myself, have more of like a pinky undertone. So sometimes like a warmer, more orangey and like terracotta-y bronzy color can just be a little bit too orangey. So this on its own I think is fabulous, or you can layer something warmer on top, which is what I did today. My second favorite, which is the one I believe I use in my how to bronze fair skin video, or one of my previous videos, I've talked about this at length. This is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. This is also very well loved. I love this bronzer by Becca because it's shimmery without being too glittery. This is definitely probably the most luminous of all the ones I'm going to show you today. The other thing that's great about this is I have the shade Capri Coast, which I believe is the second lightest in the collection. So again, if you have skin slightly fairer than me, there is one option fairer that might be even better for you. But I really like this shade Capri Coast. I think it's, again, really good if you're slightly lighter or slightly darker than my complexion. But this is beautiful because it's super shimmery. This is kind of a great all-in-one quick bronzer. I can like just swirl around with this fluffy brush, apply all over, and feel like I just have like a really bronzed, luminous, and slightly contoured glow. It's, as you can see, it's not super cool toned. It really does have that kind of mid-tone, slightly warm, but really kind of cool toned shade. So it's not too It's not too orangey, which is what makes it really flattering for fair skin. And then I'll mention one other luminous bronzer, which is the one I'm wearing today, which is a more recent find than the Becca, but I think similar. This is the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in the shade Bronze 03. So this is meant to be a matte powder, but it is kind of like a baked, more minerally finished powder, I find, and it definitely gives that glow. So I love this to apply on top of when I use my Hoola. So this is, I think, lighter than the Becca. I'll hold them up side by side. They probably look exactly the same when you hold them up side by side, but in my mind, it's lighter. Did they look exactly the same? They kind of look exactly the same. Very similar vibe for sure, but this one I find applies just slightly lighter and less pigmented and is a little easier to just kind of give that like candle lit, slightly bronze, like lit from within glow, which I really love. And again, I think this layers really well over any kind of contour and kind of softens the edges. So this in conjunction with the Hoola is what I have on today. So if you would like to critique how my bronze looks, these are the products that I used. I think this one is slightly more expensive also, but I just really, really love this. I think this is super flattering. It's also, again, not too orangey. It's a nice mid-toned bronzy shade where it doesn't make me look orangey, hopefully. Okay, and these last two are kind of more true, what I would consider a bronzer. The first one is this Guerlain Terracotta Bronzer. I have this in the shade 00, which is for blondes, it says on the back. So this is kind of your classic terracotta bronzer by Guerlain. They have all these kind of terracotta bronzers, and when I think of a terracotta bronzer, this is what I picture, like something more orangey with that warmer undertone. But this one is nice and light, and as they say on the back, it's meant for blonde, so they intend it for people, I think, with slightly fairer complexions, because this is, I believe, the lightest one. This is 00. I think this is the lightest one, and then there's some darker ones as well if you have a slightly more tan complexion than I do. But this is, I think, the most flattering orangey bronzer that I found for fair skin. So if you really want that super tan, I'm on vacation, like real true bronze tan look, then this is the one for you. I really recommend this. This is, again, high-end, but the packaging is really beautiful. I've had this forever and it's lasting really well. It's just a slightly different vibe than the other ones. This isn't what I typically go for every day. This is something I love to pack on like a beach vacation, just because it does have that more orangey, bronzy, tan kind of vibe and less of like the cooler, bronzy, lit from within vibe. This is more of like a sunburn vibe, if that makes sense. But super flattering on fair skin. It's not too orangey. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Like none of these that I picked are too orangey, but this one is just slightly more orangey and terracotta based than the others. And this is a super recent discovery. This is the 5th and final one, and this is the Jouer Light to Medium Bronzer Duo, and the shades are Sunlight and Suntan. I mentioned this recently in videos. I discovered this from Morgan Stewart. She posted about this on her Instagram, and she is much more tan than I am. Usually she has a nice fake tan glow going, but these shades are absolutely beautiful. Especially this lighter one here is just the perfect super light, cool toned, coolish. It's mid-tone. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. It's just like the perfect tone, but this light one is the perfect shade if you want a really subtle contour. Like this is my favorite shade to use to like contour my nose on a daily basis, because it's not too strong and crazy. It just like gives that really light, perfectly slightly tanned look for fair skin. And then the darker one I find comes off a little bit more orangey. Both of these are a little bit more orangey than the first three that I mentioned, but it's in a flattering way. These definitely give more of like a bronzy tan look also, rather than like a bronzy glow look. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but you know what I mean. But this is just super fabulous. If you're looking for a really light, nice contoury type shade, I would recommend this duo. I just love this lighter shade. It's just perfect. Again, the darker one is just slightly too dark for me sometimes, but the packaging is beautiful. I really love this and would totally recommend this. Okay, you guys, that is it for my top 5 favorite bronzers for fair skin. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's been highly anticipated, and I talk about all these products on my channel already, so hopefully none of them were like a huge surprise. You probably saw them all coming, but let me know your feedback in the comments down below, and if there's any bronzers that you recommend that work really well for fair skin, or any bronzers that you just recommend for anyone. I'd love to hear your feedback. I always love hearing your guys' product recommendations. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you in my next one.